Hey, it's Mike from EmployeeExitPlan.com, and today we're going to be talking about Google Tag Manager, what it is, and why you should start using it ASAP on your website. So, let's just jump right on into it. So, why do you want Google Tag Manager on your website? Well, if you want to measure conversions from any sort of advertising that you do, then Google Tag Manager can help you with that. If you want to measure activity on your website, such as events like button clicks, downloads, different things like that, then Google Tag Manager can help you with that. If you want to not have to update your website directly all the time when it comes to updating scripts, removing them, enabling them, that type of thing, Google Tag Manager can help you with that. And if you want to be able to revert changes ASAP without logging into your site, so for instance, you install a script and then everything goes wonky, you don't want to have to log into your site, find a backup, restore it, then Google Tag Manager can help you with that when it comes to the scripts that you put inside of the Google Tag Manager container. So having said all of that, what exactly is Google Tag Manager? I'm going to do my best to describe it to you now. They call Google Tag Manager, okay, they call it a container, okay, and you put it on your site once. You only have to put this container on your site once, but once this container exists on your site, you can put whatever you want inside of it and turn it on or turn it off accordingly. So it's extremely powerful. So let me just give you an illustration of what I'm talking about here. Okay, so this is an example of the container. So this would be the code. You get a Google Tag Manager code that you put on your website, sort of like you would for Google Analytics. And the difference with the Google Tag Manager is this container, so this outline, this container here, the code, that code goes onto your website, and then it enables you to track whatever to enable or disable anything that's in this container. So I just put some examples in here. So here's your Facebook pixel. You know, maybe you got some retargeting going on with AdRoll. You got Google Search Console, so you want to integrate that with your website so that you're verified with Google. This one's Google Analytics, so you want to have web analytics tracking your website. Maybe you're doing Twitter advertising, LinkedIn advertising, and AdWords advertising. You want to be able to track conversions on all that stuff. So you would create a Google Tag Manager account. You would get the code from each of these respective websites, would give you special, in this case, it's the Facebook Pixel. If it was AdRoll or Twitter or LinkedIn or AdWords, they would give you conversion scripts that you need to put onto your website. And for Google Analytics to run on your site, they give you a script as well. You would put those inside of your Google Tag Manager container, and then that gets added to your website once and saved, and then that's it. You're done. You don't have to do anything else. And if you say, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to use Google AdWords anymore," you can just disable it. You can remove it without having to go log into your website, find the code, to remove it from the theme. No, you just come into your Google Tag Manager account, you just disable it. So it's very, very powerful, very flexible, and allows you to make updates without having to actually go into your website to do them. So that's part of what we're talking about when I say a container. This is what I mean. That the Google Tag Manager is like the the code that contains all the other codes that you need, all the other scripts, all the other pixels that you need to be able to track your advertising or your web analytics on your website. So, like I was saying, it's a container, and just to expand on that, So it's a piece of code that holds all the other pieces of code that you use, as I illustrated in that example. You can use it to control your conversion script. So you basically install the script inside of Google Tag Manager, and then you configure a trigger that tells the script when to fire. So you can turn things on, you can turn things off very easily. You can set it to listen for events on your site. So you can have it listening and not fire unless somebody clicks a certain button or downloads a certain file off your website. So then you can create events like that. And Google Tag Manager is free from Google. If you've got a YouTube account, if you've got an AdWords account, if you've got a Gmail account, then congratulations, you've got a Google Tag Manager account. You basically just have to log in with your Google credentials, and you can start building your first Google Tag Manager dashboard right away. All right, so how do we use Google Tag Manager? Okay, so first off is the code. You need to have the code on all the pages of your website. You can do this manually, or if you use WordPress, there are plugins for it. Some are good and some are not good, so I will be sharing that with you later. You need to verify that the tags are present on your site, and there is a handy little Chrome extension that you could use that's called Tag Assistant that can show you which tags are firing on your website. And once you have it in place, you just need to add whatever other scripts that you want to use inside that container, and you're good to go. And even if you don't want to add anything in it right now, you can just put the container script onto your site, and then down the road when you're ready to add AdWords or whatever, you can just put it into your tag manager and dashboard and just take it from there. It'll be ready for you to go. Okay, so let's talk about the dashboard. Okay, so if you want to get a Google Tag Manager account, you would just go to google.com/tag manager. And as I was saying earlier, it's the same login that you would use for your other Google products, assuming that you've already signed up for Gmail or something like that. And then you can set up a dashboard for your website. So you basically put in what the URL is, you give it a name, and then you're pretty much good to go from there. Once you have a dashboard, you can invite other people. So whether it's employees of yours or contractors, or if you have an agency working for you, they need access, you can set all of that up. And then you can start inside the dashboard. That's where you start building out your scripts and your triggers, which is the next section. And that is the scripts are present on your site. So that's the code that needs to be added to your site, like Google Web Analytics or conversion scripts, those types of things. But then you set a trigger that tells the scripts when to do their job. So they tell the script when to fire. So for instance, if I have AdWords conversion tracking on a download page, then I want it only to fire after somebody has made a purchase and landed on a thank you page. So I would have the conversion code on the site, but it would only fire if it was on the thank you page. So you can set triggers for that. And for every script that you install, just a basic rule of thumb, then you need to have a trigger to actually initiate the script. So you need the trigger to tell the script when to do its job. All right, so here are some questions now about Google Tag Manager. Say you're not techie, all this scripts and containers and things is over your head. Well, it's not really all that tough. If you've installed Google Analytics, it's pretty similar. It's slightly more difficult, but if you have a couple of minutes to wrap your head around, if you understand the concept of a container and triggers, that can get you pretty far. If you don't have an account, like I said, it's very simple. Just open up, if you don't have a Gmail account, most people do, but or a YouTube account, it's a really simple thing to do. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. If you are baffled and confused by Tag Manager, but you want to have an easy way to add and remove scripts from your website remotely, then just stay tuned and I'll give you some opportunities for further training on this. Can't place a container yourself? Well, it depends. If you have direct access to the website, but you're not sure, then myself or somebody else in web development could probably help you out with it. Otherwise, if you're just not sure, you can get somebody to do that for you. It's a pretty easy thing to do for someone that understands it. And that's all it takes. The good news is you just have to do it once, and then that's it. And if you're worried about having a website that's very high traffic or it's e-commerce or something like that, the great thing about Google Tag Manager is that it has the ability to roll back changes. So if you installed a certain script on your website and for some reason your website was broken and it wasn't working the right way, you can easily go back into Tag Manager and just undo what you just did without even having to log in to your website. How cool is that? That's actually one of the coolest things about Google Tag Manager. So what's next? Go sign up for a Google Tag Manager account now, place the container code on your site, and start putting in all your conversion scripts that or your web analytics at the very least. If you're not doing paid advertising but you are using Google Analytics, then switch over to embed it inside of your Google Tag Manager account. Just make sure if you have Google Analytics coded into your website, you remove that first. And then if you're still stuck, you can register for training wherever you're watching this. I will have a link for further Google Tag Manager training. It'll be a deep dive into the fundamentals that you need to know to get the most out of it, but it's going to be 80-20. It's just going to be, the 20% of the stuff that's going to do 80% of what you need to run your website effectively. So thanks for checking this out. My name's Mike from Employee Exit Plan. Talk to you later.